Welcome to the Sideline. I'm Andy Katz. Well, this is going to be a home for a lot of original content in college sports and beyond. Now, of course, you're going to get a lot of that similar content that I produce for NCAA platforms, for Big Ten Network, and other places. But I needed a home for a lot of those interviews with the newsmakers in this space. So where are you going to find it? Right here at the Sideline. Let's get to it. And welcome everyone to a chat with Latrell Wrightsell from Alabama, fresh off a 17 in a win at St. John's, arguably one of the best games that I wasn't there, but I watched, and I've seen a long time. That game had everything. Let's start there. I mean, what was it like to play at the Garden in a crazy game where you're scoring over 100 and it's back and forth? Atmosphere's off the charts, and you go in and you get a W at MSG.
It was fun. It felt like it was March already in the start of the season. It felt like a madness game. It was a hostile environment. The New York crowd was loud, rowdy. It was fun. It was a crazy atmosphere, and it reminded me of kind of like playing in March Madness already early in the season.
So, I mean, it was fair that we didn't know how good you guys could be, and I know it's one game, but what did that one game do for this team's confidence, especially when you got Purdue coming in next?
It definitely is a confidence booster, but it also just shows us how we can play with teams that are tougher, teams that are more physical, teams that might run a bigger lineup and show that what the size that we have, if we play smaller, we can still rebound with them. And it gives us a lot of confidence on the defensive end to be able to guard really good guards and really good bigs that they have and give us confidence as a team to just and then also help our younger guys because we play a lot of younger guys that aren't as experienced. So it gives them a confidence boost for a win like that.
I mean, clearly you guys can score. Defensively, though, the game was up in that 190s level. What's been the chatter here soon after from Coach Oates and staff about what needs to tighten up defensively?
Just being in more gaps. We need to help each other out a little bit more. Helping a teammate out is always something we've been emphasizing, but being able to do it more, and then also just continue to apply ball pressure. And then the last thing is also offensive rebounding, stopping teams from offensive rebounding, since we play a lot smaller lineups than a lot of other teams.
All right, so you missed the first game with a quad injury, but you only played 8 games last year because of an Achilles rupture, and it's kind of crazy. There were 8 in the NBA alone during the playoff era, like in that springtime. I'm curious your point of your view on this because I talked to Damian Lillard. He was one of them, and he thought, at least in the NBA, the length of the season, the style of play, the fact they're playing all year round contributes to how many we saw in the spring. Yours was much earlier than that. We have seen them in college as well. What's your theory on why we're seeing more Achilles being ruptured right now in basketball?
I think it was just a year of just a lot of bad injuries, but I think a total on that is the work that we put in on top of what we're doing in practice and the season. We do a lot of extra work as where we are in this level, and to get to this level, you have to put in a lot of extra work. So I feel like one thing to help us out with that and help take care of our bodies more is understanding that we need to rest some days, and some days we don't think about resting, and that's what I've learned throughout this process. Especially with my trainer telling me that here, he's like, "You're trying to go 3 times a day, practice, and then playing games. It's not going to sustain you." And being able to rest and actually take days off will help a lot in that, in terms of injuring yourself, and then also just big on the sleep thing. We're trying to work out at 6 in the morning and at 9 at night, but where's the sleep to be had in that time?
So it is one of the harder ones to come back from. You have come back from it. Obviously, you're contributing right off the bat, 17 in this game against St. John's. What's the toughest sort of mental aspect of going through the rehab of an Achilles rupture?
The mental part for me that was the toughest was knowing will I be able to step the same way I was doing beforehand, because when I only watched the video, I've injured myself twice, but looking at that, I always get nervous every time I like do a step to the back or do the zero step or whatever. And so understanding like will I be able to move the same and then getting out there and not moving the same, and then you're mentally like, well, I was just doing this a year ago. This injury shouldn't have made me do this. It's definitely the hardest part, getting over that. And then it's like, where's your confidence at, and how do you get your confidence back within a mental state? Because you're skilled enough to do it, but you got to have the confidence to be able to think like that.
Um, there had to have been low points. Uh, what were those like?
Those are tough. It was definitely questioning, like, how much do I love basketball? Like, questioning my character in life. Just like, am I gonna quit on myself to where I got to, and just being able to like push through that. But I had a lot of help, and Coach Oates was a really big help with that on the mental side of things, like just telling me to trust myself, trust your work, trust everything you've been doing. And so having those people around me and a lot of the staff members here, it helped a lot with that.
You guys had a great run, ended up losing to Duke. I was there for that game in Newark. Obviously, you couldn't play in it.
Yeah.
Sears, the game before against BYU, I think that's the game you had 10 threes. You guys had 25. What'd you learn watching, instead of participating that maybe has helped you now?
I think what helped and I learned a lot was spacing. I know that we emphasize it a lot now, but spacing in the college game isn't as good as it is in the NBA. But when you do space a lot in the college game, you find yourself open more. You can make easier reads, and it's easier for your offense to flow. And so, like, understanding spacing and knowing when to cut, when to move, and where to be at when the ball is in a different position, it's helped me out a lot. And I got to see that a lot throughout the tournament and last year.
Correct me if I'm wrong. This is year six.
Yes, sir.
Started at Fullerton, so 3-3, Fullerton and Alabama. You're the old man.
Yeah.
What's that like in year six in college basketball?
It's definitely different. Some plans don't go as you plan, but God always has a plan for you, so I'm not really worried about that. But it gives me a perspective to give to a lot of the younger guys. A lot of people come up to me and ask me different situations. I've been through pretty much almost all of them. So just understanding each situation and knowing how things play out for people in their minutes and their roles, and then understanding like the mental side of things, I have a lot to say for that. And then just helping guys out, being a leader, and just not even just about basketball. It could just be about life situations as well.
Well, speaking of that, I mean, socially, when you're 18 coming in as a freshman versus now 23,
Yes, sir.
23,
Yeah.
you may not want to go out as much. Like,
Yes.
has it changed for you until you talked about sleep and rest? Has your
Yes.
mindset changed about just, what you want to do socially and take care of yourself, versus 5 years ago?
Yes, definitely. I was just talking to my mom about that actually, just like the way I've changed, just wanting to go out and have fun and now I'm just sleeping in, getting rest, doing treatment, a lot more treatment and stuff like that. So just taking care of myself really more than I used to.
It's kind of crazy how just it just sort of organically happens. All right, before I let you go, I know that you got a slew of these big time games. A year ago, Purdue beat you guys badly there. Now you get them here. They got a great backcourt. So if Trey Kaufman-Renn plays, obviously he's special. So what must this team do against Purdue, maybe even better than it did against St. John's?
I think I think Coach Oates emphasized it a lot, but just playing with more pace. I know we play pretty fast, but I think we can play a little bit faster than we have. And then also offensive rebounding and defensive rebounding both can be better for us. And then also being better in a pick and roll situations. I know Purdue runs a lot of them. They have really good guards and a really good big man. So being able to handle situations of pick and rolls and learning how to really stop a pick and roll, really, that'll be what we emphasize this week.
All right, great. I'm so glad you're back. And it's going to be, just awesome to watch you progress throughout the course of the season.
Thank you. Thank you for having me.
Thanks for watching and listening, everyone. And as always, you can follow all our social media content at the Sideline with AK. Our content appears on Spotify, Apple Podcasts, and of course, YouTube, TikTok, X, and Instagram. Check out all the content at the Sideline with AK.